Previously on your favorite episode.
And then there was at some point, like, I just got it.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new edition of Your Favorite Episode. I am your host, Jackie, and joining me today is my partner and producer, Mickey. Our guest today is my bro. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You might recognize his voice from his days as Pinkman on the Jim Phillips show in Orlando, but to me, he's bro, Josh Fowler. But more importantly, he's right here with us to talk about his favorite episode of television ever. What is it? Season 1, Episode 5 of I Think You Should Leave. I'm wearing one of their belts right now. Y'all ready to get into it? Let's go.
TV rots your brains.
That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana.
Television. Much of our future depends on the way we use this medium of communication.
Uh-oh, I heard a person. Boop. Hello, bro.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Not bad. Well, all things considered.
This sure is weird.
You know, I like that corncob TV thing at the top. So, how's Michigan?
It is 4 degrees right now.
Holy shit.
And there's snow on the ground, but it's honestly still awesome.
That's cool.
Like,
it's cold here today.
Like I forgot what Florida cold even felt like. Just livable.
Fuck, what is it, like 60 something right now, I think? So, you know, hot for you guys now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like the portion of the summer where we would just lock ourselves in and, you know, turn on the air conditioner. We never left the house during the peak of the summer because it was just too miserable. So now it's just too miserable to go out in the cold. So
makes sense.
Much shorter amount of time to stay inside from the miserable of the cold than the miserable of the Florida summers.
Yeah, I was going to say summer up there is probably awesome.
Oh my God. We ate on the front porch like every meal.
That's cool.
Every single meal
no
outside.
mosquitoes.
And lightning bugs.
Oh, that's fun.
10 o'clock sunsets.
Yeah. And weed is violently legal here.
Hell yeah.
Like violently so. It's so cheap.
Yeah, recreational states are ridiculous with how cheap it is. It's I have a medical card and it still is like they want like $50 for an eighth most of the time. Like, what the fuck, man? It's stupid.
We've bought an ounce for $85 before.
That's insane.
And not like, because we've also bought an ounce of what the fuck is it called?
Oh, shake?
Yes.
Yeah.
We also bought an ounce of that for like $35.
Yeah, they just want to get rid of that.
The $85 was like good stuff. It wasn't trash.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Why? And then edibles are like cheaper than regular candy at the store. So like, why would you even bother buying Skittles anymore?
Just get the weed candy.
Exactly.
More fun.
Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, I did the big intro. I'm going to do the little short, awkward one, though. This one's, I don't have to announce what I'm doing. I'm not writing an essay. You shouldn't announce what you're doing when you write an essay either, folks. Eventually, your favorite episode will be filmed in front of a live studio audience. But for now, we're going to stay right here in the safety of the internet. And we're going to talk about I Think You Should Leave with my bro, Josh. Hello, bro, and welcome.
Hello, other bro. I almost said welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. It's been a while since I've seen your face, honestly.
Yeah, I'm aging forcefully right now.
I don't see it. You look the same.
I'm about to hit 30, and then I guess it's all downhill or something. That's what people say.
Honestly, it's been uphill for me.
I know. You guys look good.
I think I'm aging in reverse. I have like a Benjamin Button thing going on.
Hell yeah.
I think a big part of it is just not giving a fuck anymore.
You know, there's something to be said for that. I think there's that level of confidence keeps you young too.
That's weird. I never consider myself any kind of confident. But I think maybe I am now.
Not giving a fuck requires a certain amount of confidence.
Yeah. Shit. All right.
And
I'll take
that's your life pro tip of the day or something.
So what, like, I'm just going to do a catch up with you because people care about you.
Oh.
So what have you been up to? Like, I know you're like an old married guy now.
Yeah, I don't hardly ever leave my house anymore. I work from home, so I'm sitting in the very spot that I spend most of my days.
Same.
It's
exactly the same.
I like working from my couch. It's good. I hated driving to the office and all that shit. Yeah, just working. I have a dog now. He's sleeping over there.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing crazy, you know, just adult shit. Bought a house like 2.5 years ago, so always paying for stuff. I know you guys know how that is.
Capitalism.
Gotta love it, right?
Going back to the commute, that was one of the things that I subconsciously just didn't even consider, because for me, I have to get up a little bit earlier so that my internals can, wake up. My stomach wakes up a little after I do, so it's like, okay, I need to get up, get everything
moving,
situated and stuff. So it's like I'm losing an hour in the morning, plus my drive time, plus the settle in at work. And, I'm the type of person that wants to be early. So I'm like, I spent a significant amount of my 20s, like barely making it on time to, clock in and stuff like that. So like
I've done that.
I overcorrected. So I added like a half an hour to my day, plus, packing up. And, I'm the type of person that for the longest time, I didn't leave right at the whistle. I, kind of slowly made my way out just in case something came up. So like I added subconsciously like almost 2 hours to my day. And then during the lockdown, I was fortunate enough to work from home, get up, clock it, sit at my desk, log in, and I'm like, I'm at work. This is great. So like that 2 hours just added so much to my life for the 6 months that Jackie and I were locked in together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy when you don't have that time for so long because it's budgeted somewhere. It's like when you finally pay off a credit card or something, all of a sudden you free up like $100 a month or some shit, and you're like, holy shit, this is a lot that I didn't realize I was like paying or sinking my time into, and it's just crazy how much your life opens up at that point.
There's 0% of me ever going back to a job where I have to commute every day.
Same.
Like I actually wrote this very long email and applied for a job at a dispensary that's like an hour away just to have something to do to get out of the house. Like I work from home doing like freelance stuff, but like having like a regular place to go. And I mean, I know it's cheap, but I'll still take a discount,
Yeah, why not?
So like doing that is something that would just be like 1 or 2 times a week, not like every day where I feel like it's a drudge, like that's different in my brain. And also I could ride my tricycle to work.
That sounds awesome.
Huge difference between wanting to and you have to go to work and do this.
Yeah, I always like in my head I'm like, I think back to when I did kind of like shift work, like physical labor type jobs, and it's like 2 days a week, and that felt fine. Like that wasn't tedious, but the 5 days a week, like back and forth on the fucking highway, finding parking, walking to the office, that just drained me so hard. Especially
when it's work that you could do from home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm sitting here on a laptop. I could sit here on a laptop at my house.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, I think around this time last year, I was in Oklahoma, and waking up, I would watch the news, and this was the time that they were talking about sending kids back to school. And then they showed a picture of the children in the classroom, all of them on their laptop.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not trying to get them in the classroom. You're trying to get them to the babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
And then they still couldn't interact normally. And like, you might as well just stay home.
Mm-hmm. It's also the machine of capitalism can run.
Yay. We really did it. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. Still waiting on the trickle down.
So what I'm saying is that what I call a voodoo economic policy, it just isn't going to work.
Okay, so we chose So I Think You Can Leave, which was a Netflix greenlit project from
I think you should leave.
I Think You Should Leave from Tim Robbins.
Sin.
Robinson.
Tim Robinson. Tim Robbins.
This
is, a
is
whole
why I don't do
different
this
thing.
portion of it. I'm
Sorry, I had to cough. Okay, so Josh picked I Think You Should Leave, starring and like writer Tim Robinson and a bunch of other people. And like Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island is involved.
Is he?
Yeah, this
he
show
directed
is
this episode.
this show is very deeply rooted in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. I know Tim Robinson used to write for Saturday Night Live, and the vibe I get from this show is it's all sketches that at one time he probably pitched that they all were like, "What the fuck are you doing, you lunatic?"
He would probably do well with the current cast because there's a couple like younger cast members that are just fucking weird, and I love them so much.
Yeah. He has there's that one episode that's I cannot remember her name, the red-haired girl.
Chloe Feynman, Heidi Gardner.
None of those are good. I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore, so none of it's gonna ring a bell. But I've seen her on there, like in various clips, and then she's also in I Think You Should Leave. So yeah, you're right. There is a good amount of crossover there.
So for people who have no idea what I Think You Should Leave, can you give them like a little lesson on what it is?
Yes. So it's all sketch comedy, but it is like extremely absurdist sketch comedy. Like I will go back to I think he probably originally wrote some of these during his Saturday Night Live days and was immediately shut down because it's just like so fucking out there, and some of the jokes take so long to establish across the course of like the whole sketch that it's just that it wouldn't be possible to do a sketch show in this kind of format unless you have like the freedom that Netflix would provide you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of more long form comedy, I guess is a better description.
But he does a lot in a short amount of time with like every sketch.
He does.
It's really impressive.
I like that, and it's a good blend too. Like you have the longer ones that kind of take a second to get to the punchline, but then you have in between those like the short ones that are just like good quick laughs over and over again, and then you can move on.
And then the first episode, the episode that you picked, like literally starts with a bang.
Yeah, it does actually. I mean, I love the whole show, but this particular episode is just so many back-to-back bangers of sketches that I couldn't pick another one over it.
It's the first sketch comedy show that we've done too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember you hit me up and I was like, I don't know if this counts because this is not like typical episodic television, you know?
Now we'll take anything.
Yeah, we opened it up and said whatever it is, we'll explore it. If you find if someone that we asked to be on the show finds something entertaining, there's a good chance that we're going to find some entertainment value in it. And you know, we trust the people that we ask, so you know, just we're on for the journey, man. Go for it.
Big mistake. Should have never trusted me.
Now we can like talk about the episode, right?
Yeah, we can get into it however y'all want to.
I'm not on my best game today. I've been sick for like a week, and it's just 2023 can kind of suck it.
All right, well, just to kind of get us rolling. So, kind of several different moons kind of collided. You have Andy Samberg and Lonely Island kind of killing it at Saturday Night Live. Like that's the one thread that is keeping that era of Saturday Night Live alive. And then they bring in Tim Robbins and Zach Kanan, who's the co-writer of I Think You Should Leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tim and Zach were short-lived there because this is what they came up with, and didn't jive with what Saturday Night Live was trying to construct at the time. and now seeing Sarah Sherman do what she's doing, Tim was just a decade ahead of his time, or so, ready for prime time. So then they left, and Tim went in to do the Detroiters television show. And
that's a fun show too.
We gotta watch it.
And at the time, like, this is like 2016 era, is where Netflix is like, we have a huge amount of money and no idea what we want to do, and that kind of harkens back to the days of Frank Zappa's golden era, as he called it, where the radio or the record executives just had no clue what was good or bad, so they just kind of greenlit everything.
Yeah, let's throw money and cocaine at it.
And basically, no, that was the 80s. I'm talking about the early 50 days, where they were like, just greenlight everything. The kids will show us what they want, and then we'll just make more of that. And then the 80s of cocaine and trying to construct everything came in. But yeah, this was the era where Netflix was just buying whatever they could. They were greenlighting and financing whatever they could, and they let this one go through, which is amazing.
Good on them. It stuck.
So, sorry. I always try to like write down a little recap of the episode or find one somewhere. And the recap that I have for this episode is like the shortest one. Like, it's just like one sentence per sketch. So I figure I can just read the sentence and then we can talk about the sketch.
Okay. Did you write this or did you find this one online?
I found it.
Okay, because when I was trying to remember what episode it is, because they're not really labeled that well on Netflix, and it's so easy to like get out of. Not that order matters; it's sketch comedy. But the description I found was like the shortest thing, and I still from that could not remember everything that was in the episode.
All right, the first one we have is a hot dog shaped car crash. Started with a bang, literally.
Literal bang into a what is it? I think it's a Brooks Brothers store.
Yeah, it looked like a very fancy clothing store.
Yeah, it's a menswear store. Yeah, a lot of people in there. And I just love the beginning of that. They're like, oh my God, someone could have got hurt. We need to figure out who did this. And then they just pan over and it's Tim Robinson in a hot dog suit. And he's like, yeah, we got to find the guy who did this. You know what's crazy is that it could have been any one of us.
He's not the only one dressed like a hot dog, though.
That's true. There was I cannot remember the other guy's name, but he didn't realize his shirt and tie combo made him look like a hot dog with mustard on it. Then he looks down, he's like, damn it.
He was a formal hot dog.
Yeah, he was a business hot dog of some sort. So yeah, that's like, that really wrapped me into the episode as a whole the first time I saw that, because it's just like, it keeps it from the beginning all the way to the end of that sketch. It's just so funny, and he just keeps going. And I like someone's like, it was you're wearing the hot dog suit. He's like, wrong.
And like throughout the sketch, I feel like there was a lot of people there, but like as people say, like, this might just be me misremembering. But I feel like people just pop up and say a line and then they're not there anymore. Like the police just popped up in the middle of the store.
Yeah, they did kind of come out and they showed up, but then they were ignored for about 2 minutes or so while it continued.
By me too, obviously.
This random hot dog car shows up. Random. I say that all the time just because it's funny. And I like the he goes, if I was a big jolly guy with a big white beard, would y'all be standing here having this conversation, or would you be spanking my bare butt balls and back?
Okay, I wrote down that line because it makes me laugh every time too, because I have a theory. What letter do you think is the funniest letter? I think it is B. Like the funniest letter to say is B.
I never even thought about that. I mean, I think you're right. The alliteration there is kind of what makes it funny.
The thing that really drives it home for me, have you seen Big Mouth?
Yes.
The hormone monstrous, every time she says bubble bath, it's the same effect. It's the bees.
Beanie baby, baby beanie.
Yeah.
Or baby beanie, beanie baby.
I think you're onto something here.
I think
never
about it all the
considered that.
time.
I think for a rolling laugh, you got to have B's, but for like a hard stop, you need a K.
I could see that.
I need an example.
Like
Well-
when you're making a statement and you want because basically if you think about the jokes that she tells with the bees, they're all just ongoing and the long, like there are times where she extends it and makes it extremely long alliteration. So it's just kind of one of those bumping along the road giggles. Whereas to end a snap joke, you need the hard K.
All right.
I think it's like the I cannot remember the exact terms that they use in like speaking classes or whatever, but like B is a plosive letter, not leather, like the letter P, like it's like, but K is just, I cannot remember the exact word for it, but it takes on basically a whole meaning of its own based on how it sounds.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you know, I'm such a qualified speech therapist, so I thought I would share that.
Hey, you went to actual school for it, kind of.
I went to actual school for communications, and they kind of just handed me a degree, but you know, UCF, God bless them.
Also, that is the first of a couple times that Santa is mentioned in this episode too. Like, this is a pretty Santa-centric episode.
It is. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, I guess. But yeah, between that line and then the he's like, wow, we've been talking all day and none of you bothered to learn my name. And they've only been there for like 5 minutes. And then he goes on that rant that we don't even watch porn on our computers anymore. And he names all the porn sites, and just it's all legitimate sites, but in the middle of it he says homegrown Simpsons stuff.
Well, that's all over the internet.
I know these names better than I know my own grandmother's. And the whole time he's just grabbing shirts and ties and shit.
And just shoves him through the window of the hot dog cart that is not his.
I guess if nobody wants this random hot dog car, I'll take it.
I'm pretty sure all he did to write the script was post some video on YouTube and then just went and read the comments as the script.
Also, I love how low
That's a
tech
good
the hot
strategy.
dog car is. It's just like a VW Bug with a hot dog taped to it.
It's like a really shitty Wienermobile. But I ended up, because that episode made me laugh so hard, I got a hot dog costume for Halloween that year. Like, I tried to find the exact same one, and I got a pretty close version of it.
I had a hot dog wallet for a long time. I completely forgot about that until just now.
Hot dogs are fun, and they're American, and, you know, that's it.
I like tube meat. In the recap that I have, there's a sketch missing. Like they didn't describe the next sketch, but
Right.
I know that it exists because of Patty Harrison. Wait, no, that's not that one.
That's the third one.
Yeah, the second
Also,
one.
I love her.
Me too. I will literally watch her in anything.
Yeah, she's so funny.
The second one.
Now she's part of the MCU.
Mhm.
Oh, was she in She-Hulk?
She-Hulk,
Was that
yeah.
it? Okay.
Yep.
I haven't watched that, but I saw someone post about it.
It's actually very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I've heard that.
It was probably my favorite Marvel thing since WandaVision.
I never really got into MCU stuff, and then it's kind of like I never watched Game of Thrones, so I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I'm so far behind, I'm never
Yeah.
gonna get caught up, so I feel overwhelmed to even consider starting it.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But if you ever do want to get into it, Mickey is like probably the best resource.
Deal.
All right.
So
Whoa. Sorry.
It's
My
okay.
reminders on my laptop.
So the next sketch is takes place in a restaurant.
This is the whole episode's my favorite. this is, I think, maybe my most quoted sketch on the whole series.
It's so relatable.
I know. I'm like, I would be that embarrassed and not do anything about my situation. So I guess for anyone that has not seen it or whatever, Tim Robinson shows up to a restaurant to meet up with his friends, and he's dressed, for lack of a better term, kind of douchey. Like, he's got earrings in and shit, which he doesn't often have. And he shows up and sits down next to his buddy, and he looks down the table, and it's like some made up celebrity named Caleb Went, which that name by itself is just so, because it's just such a fucking like LA dumb celebrity name. And he's like, dude, I love all his movies and music, and I'm wearing one of the belts from his Angels and Archways clothing line.
Damn it. I asked Mickey right after we finished watching it again, where's the title from? And I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I honestly, this last time I watched it, like just before I got on here with you guys, that's when I actually realized why they titled it that way. 'Cause the whole time I'm like, where's there anything about a belt? I was like, maybe they cut something from the hot dog sketch or something.
That's what I thought it would be from too.
Yeah, that was the best I could figure. But then I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, he says he has the studded belt. But when he first sits down, he's like, dude, is that Caleb Went? And the guy's like, yeah, he's like a family friend or whatever. He's like, okay. I say that to my wife all the time. Just for no reason. Because the drawn out okay makes me laugh so hard. Yeah, so that the okay, and then I don't even exactly remember how he chokes, but when he chokes, it's fucking funny.
I also don't remember how he chokes, but
like, it's just such it doesn't matter how he chokes, it's the rest of it that matters. But
he was trying to hide the fact that he was choking.
Yeah,
so
the whole time his friend's like, dude, let me like call someone, and he does that shit where he like cocks his fist back and like twice, like he's gonna punch him. It's that second cock back and the fucking sarcastic look on his face that makes me laugh. He's like, yeah, I'm not fucking choking, man, shut up. And he's like actively dying, and then he keeps trying to talk. He's like, Caleb, a toast to you and yours.
Have you ever almost choked?
Yes. A couple times on ice cubes, which resolves itself. And luckily.
It's like the best thing you could possibly choke on, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks while it's happening, but it eventually melts. And then one time I was eating grapes at home by myself, and I got one like stuck in my throat. That was kind of scary.
I was driving home from Blockbuster and choked on a Jolly Rancher. I thought I was going to die on the side of the road on a Jolly Rancher.
How'd you get it out?
I don't remember. Just one, I was dying, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. Like, maybe it got small enough to...
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe it just like melted a little bit. Kind of like an ice cube, but slower.
It was very scary.
That is scary.
I don't really have a choking story. However, this is a public service announcement, and it is a little bit cringe. So, fast forward if you have a weak stomach. As a child, I was leaving the fine dining establishment called McDonald's, and I decided to take a straw with me so I could look cool, like I was smoking like my mom and pops.
Oh yeah!
And tripped off the curb and landed face first on the ground with the straw still in my mouth, except for now the straw was in the back of my throat.
Oh my God.
And I was bleeding everywhere. So do not walk around with 1970s McDonald's straws in your mouth, because they are indestructible and they will punch a hole through your face.
I was going to say, apparently they're like the world's strongest straw.
Oh, back then they were. Oh my God.
Because now they like snap in half if you just try to get the wrapper off. That made my throat hurt just hearing that. But yeah, the choking is so funny. And then when they put the poppers down on the table and he's in the middle of saying everything stinks because he can't breathe. He's like, poppers, yo. I don't. That part just gets me so hard.
Him casually waving the top of the glass to indicate that it stinks.
His friend's like, that doesn't stink. You're dying.
It's so good. But I think my favorite part of the sketch is when the ambulance comes and he walks outside, he stands there defeated, like he's done it before, like he knows exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm. He does get in the position for them to give him a Heimlich. And then it like freeze frames on him smiling at Caleb through the window.
Like so awkward.
Oh, I thought he had worried face. Like, oh my God, Caleb just saw this happen.
No,
it's definitely embarrassed.
It starts with that, but then that last frame, if you look, he's like fucking smiling at him, like he's glad that he's getting the attention all of a sudden. Right before he goes outside, when the cops and everything pull up, and he's like,
what the heck? What the heck is that that's going on over there? What the heck is that that's going on over there?
He's like,
better go make sure they didn't hit my car.
It's just, he's committing so hard to the bit of not dying.
It's like really controlled escalation.
Funny. Yeah.
Like I talk about this all the time on the show, I think, but definitely in person. I am like super into escalation and entertainment. And I think that's what this show does really well.
Oh yeah. It's just really well done. And the whole thing, it's just so funny from front to back, that whole sketch.
I kind of think that stems from your being spoiled by the Dan Harmon story starts. Because in the Dan Harmon story circle, he basically says, pick a point, introduce your character. That's where the story starts, period. You don't have to do all this build up and anything. It's just when you introduce your character, that's where the story starts. So with like Community and stuff, they started on, in fourth gear. So it's just like cranking it up from there. Whereas a lot of the stories that we grew up with started very slowly. They had to do the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings spent an hour on the intro just to get us into the start of a walking movie. So
talk about overwhelming.
Yeah. So like the pivot, the post Community pivot of here. Oh, we can make these stories. We can do these things. We can make serialized episodic television all in one bag. Here you go. And now, boom, escalation. Cringe humor always starts at the far end of the spectrum anyway.
That's true. I love Lord of the Rings, but I do agree that like some stuff is better served without an excessive amount of background information front loaded onto it. Like, I don't need to know the guy's whole story to know that choking in a restaurant in front of a celebrity is hilarious.
Especially when you're really trying to hide
it. When you're trying to look cool the whole time.
And he never looked cool from the minute he walked in.
Are you kidding me? He looked awesome. Okay.
One more quick public service announcement. If you are sick and you are afraid to go to the hospital because you feel that they might judge you or they might question you or send you home saying nothing is wrong. If you feel sick, seek out medical help, talk to your friends. Don't sit home alone because that makes things worse. And sometimes anxiety is actually a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
My son is in the hospital right now. He is recovering from surgery where they installed a pump on his heart. He spent several weeks laying in his bed because he was afraid to go to the doctor because he didn't want the doctor to say nothing was wrong. So even though this sketch is absolutely hilarious, it does highlight a problem with Generation X and the millennials and Generation Z now, of not being so afraid to go to the doctor, because not only is it them telling us that nothing is wrong, but it's also, I don't want to pay 10 grand for them to tell me to go home, which I have done in the recent past. So, the medical system sucks, but sometimes, there are doctors and nurses that are out there for the good mission of helping people. So seek those people out. And if you're sick, get it taken care of because it might be a lot worse than you might think it is.
Yeah.
So there you go.
True that. I am also scared to go to the doctor because I feel like they're going to judge me. So
Yeah. This sketch was very relatable to me.
yeah, I've been working to overcome that. So I'm glad he's getting the help he needs, though. That's good.
Yeah. And if any of the listeners want to help, you can donate to his GoFundMe at bit.ly Logan X23 Heart.
Yes.
Ha!
Nailed it.
It's a lot of stuff, and I can't come up with a way for my brain to remember it. And I know Mickey has a superhero way, but my brain doesn't do that.
Logan is named after Wolverine. When his mom was pregnant, we went through comic books and that's the name for our son.
Cool.
X23 because that is Logan's heart in the movie Logan, and X23 is also the new Wolverine, and heart because he is eventually going to need a new heart.
Thumbs
There
up.
you go. Good mnemonic device.
A coworker latches onto an expression, starring the aforementioned Patty Harrison.
This one's so funny because it's pretty much just her the whole time. Like Tim Robinson's just in it for like half a second at the very end of it, and it's like they gave it to her and let her run with it, and it turned into like the best thing ever. I just think it's really funny. And I mean, you guys have worked in offices. There's always someone that's kind of like that. That like doesn't quite get it, that maybe takes it too far sometimes.
I call that an autistic person, aka me. I was always that person in the office.
How dare you?
Yeah, I guess so. One of the bosses basically walks up to a brand new printer in the office and said, "Oh, I guess Christmas came early," and all the polite people in the office chuckle and giggle and acknowledge that other humans said joke.
Yeah. And then she tries to pile onto that joke. And then somehow ends up taking it way too seriously. I can't remember everything she says, but it's the Santa must have been a naughty old elf to have brought us this so early.
Like she changes her whole demeanor and voice when she's trying to tell a Santa joke.
There's in multiple different personalities basically, and then the one girl's like, "What?" And she's like, "Did I stutter, Megan?" she becomes so hostile. And then the boss says something, and she's like, "I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you."
Her delivery is like impeccable throughout the whole thing.
It's funny every time.
It is.
And then I like when everyone finally goes back to their desks. And she's like standing there still looking angry, and then just adjusts her face to a smile and then goes and sits down and then thinks about it for a second and then goes, "Are we even going to get anything now? Because I didn't ask for that." I don't know. The delivery of that makes me laugh so hard every time.
It's fucking fantastic. But I understand that. Like, I remember when I worked in offices where we would be doing so good and we wouldn't get a Christmas bonus or anything, but we would get an office upgrade, an office equipment upgrade. Like, that's our Christmas bonus. That's our thanks for earning you so much money into your pockets.
Oh, good. You got me a tool to make me work harder somehow. That's cool.
Make me do more work for you.
That's so nice. God bless you.
It's like buying your wife a vacuum cleaner. Although I say that one of the best adult purchases I ever made myself was my vacuum cleaner.
I was going to say, we bought a Dyson about a year ago, and it's probably one of the better things I've ever spent money on.
Mine, I forget the name of mine, which seems dumb now because I was really obsessed with it, but it's a water vacuum cleaner. You know how like you have bags and stuff and your vacuum cleaner is always stinky? The filter system for this is water, so you just dump out the filter.
Dang.
It's clean every time.
That
It's the
sounds
best.
cool.
It sucks so much dirt out of your carpet. It's like you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe my carpet.
You're gonna have to send me that when you figure it out.
I'll just go upstairs and look at the name of it.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have carpet in this house, but I have a couple rugs that really need it sometimes.
This thing is amazing. Okay, sorry about that vacuum cleaner sidebar.
Yeah, no, it's important. I don't have a whole lot else to say about this one, just because it's so short and it happens so quickly. But when Tim Robinson finally walks in and she's like super fucking upset at this point, she's like, I make several of on par, if not better, Santa jokes, and everyone ices me. And then finally, she's like getting really extremely upset. And Tim Robinson walks in. He's like, "Oh, new copier. I guess Christmas came early." And she's like, "Santa brought it early." He's just like, I guess he did.
She can
Good
tell
one,
that she's
Tracy.
rushed. You can tell that she's rushing to get the words out before anybody else too.
And then he says it was funny, and then her whole demeanor shifts, and she's like crying from like I don't know, like she was touched by him saying it was a good joke that she didn't even make up. Oh, that's a good one.
I just love her.
That's what I'm saying. We got at this point 3 back-to-back bangers in this episode.
And then next up, I think, is another banger. Music studio riffing goes awry.
I love this one just because it's like you take the that early studio scene from the Johnny Cash movie Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix, where the guy's like, gospel ain't selling no more, son, or whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, follow my lead, and just fucking sings a whole like Folsom Prison Blues or whatever. Like he had that in his pocket the whole time, but was still trying to sing gospel for some fucking reason. So it takes that, but then it adds the twist of like, what if one of the members of the band like didn't get what they were going for and went off and did his own thing at the same exact time? It's just, the twist of that concept is just really funny.
And also, the other song is about a skeleton, and you can't go wrong with the skeleton song.
I love the singer. He's like trying to be real serious. He's like, you want something new? And he like starts doing this whole fleshed out song. And then Tim Robinson's the bass player with this shitty shoe polish black dyed hair. And he comes in after like this real serious, he's like, the day Robert Palin shut me down. He's like, and it was also the night that the skeletons came to life.
But it works musically. Like, he did such a good job of making it still work musically.
It does work. And then if you Google Bones Are Their Money lyrics, there's a whole like Genius page for it.
Oh my God.
So it has the lyrics, and then it will explain various parts of the lyrics.
Are each 3 of the Bones Are Their Money different?
Is
it your
yeah,
dog?
it's got. Yeah, he just barked. Someone walked by my house. Yeah, it's got the full like fleshed out song with all the interruptions in it. So you got. It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over, and then that's where he gets cut off, and then the song comes back in. And then he's like, he cocked that crooked hammer back and he brought that hammer down. And then Tim's like, exactly, the bones are the skeleton's money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Underground, there's half as much food as this. And the worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. And then the guy still tries to continue the regular song. And then finally, again, with it was also the night the skeletons came to life. And then the very end, he's like, they pull your hair up, but not out to turn into a man and have another chance at life. And then the way he ends it, he's like, But if they pull it out, they turn to bills. That part gets me every time. He's like, what the hell are you doing? I had a whole song written. He's like, they said they want something spooky. Like, no, they didn't. They said they want something new.
And then he yells at him for saying, you said their bones are dollars 3 times.
That's because I kept forgetting whether I said it or not.
Like, there's something so human and relatable about every single sketch. Like, if you go down deep enough into your body nugget, you're going to find yourself in every one of these sketches.
Yeah, like he was just trying to keep it going the way he knew how. It totally didn't jive with everyone else's idea of the way it's supposed to go. Which, being in the entertainment business myself, I understand. But yeah, that one I think was the point where I was like, okay, this is probably the greatest episode, because that's 4 times now that this one has not missed at all, because that one's, the full fucking song is just so funny.
It is great.
And then the producer turns around and basically says, well, we kind of like what Billy is doing. And Tim Robinson's like, well, which one?
Billy him or Billy me? I wrote that down because
And then he said, it's a B word. He said
And
Billy
the producer's
me.
like, oh, your name's Billy too? And he's like, no, that's why I'm so fucking confused.
he's like, that Billy, and then it just cuts to his face, and that's the end of it.
But that is the epitome of unearned confidence right there.
Yeah.
Like,
The
maybe
bass
you're
player.
screwed up because I did a great song and you don't know my name. You're screwed up.
Yeah, that one's, it's short and sweet because it's basically just the song is really funny, but then that last little bit with no, that's why I'm so fucking confused. That really drives it home because he really thinks he killed it.
And he has so many completely fully realized characters in this tiny episode of television, and people are always bitching about comedic actors not being good actors, but he's not just like doing a caricature of a character. They're like fully realized.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he knows what they eat for lunch or something.
It does. You do get that impression. Like he's figured out like a full day in the life of that character, and then he kind of builds the sketch from that.
An excuse for tardiness spirals out of control.
I'll be honest, this one is not my favorite. I like, it's funny. It's the one part of this episode that I kind of don't totally love. I don't know why. I feel like you have so many like back-to-back good ones. Like you have the first one, which is pretty long, and then the next 3 are like fairly short and kind of like concise with the humor. But then this one, it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm not saying it's bad because I think it's funny still, but it's kind of just like, where did this start and how did you get to this point of like writing this sketch? Because I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
This one for me was the one that really showed off the escalation best, because it started out as just a little excuse and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger until it became like a revenge plot.
I get that. That's the fun part for me. For some reason it just didn't land with me like the other ones did. But it is funny. I like that it's he shows up to the party with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend's like, or husband, I think, actually, because they have a kid.
So
I don't want to assume their marital status or anything. But they show up to this party, and he's like, hey, we're a little late. So, like, first off, totally unnecessary to even think of an excuse. Like, no one's going to fucking ask.
Who shows up? Well, we do, but what normal people show up on time to a party?
Right. But, I mean, you could tell they were, like, pretty late because there were a ton of people there already. But it's just like they tell him the babysitter was late showing up, and then he runs with that idea so hard. He's like, yeah, babysitter was late, hit and run, no big deal. And then immediately this guy Barry's like, what do you mean no big deal? Is everyone okay? He's like, yeah, a couple people, the cop said it's fine, not to worry about it. And he like keeps going to the point where he's like, yeah, they died, but they're like nobody. They weren't even supposed to like be in the area. The cop said it's fine. I've built on excuses like that before, and so I kind of resonate with that one. Not that I've ever said anyone died and the cop said it was fine. But you know, I like that it starts with that, and then he pulls Barry aside into the hallway, and he's like, "Stop asking about the fucking babysitter. I'm gonna fucking kill you." He's like, "What? What? You said it was a hit and run. People died." He's like, "I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, Barry." He's like, "What? No, not really. You know what? I'm gonna embarrass you at this party, Barry. Yep, that's it. It's done. You're gonna be embarrassed."
Yeah, like he went really hard on the revenge for Barry.
He did, but he started so aggressive, and then he settled on like the weakest form of punishment. Like he's gonna try and embarrass this guy somehow, and he himself ends up looking like an idiot like 3 times.
Baby, baby, baby. Baby, 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 baby. Oh yeah, baby, 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 baby.
I just knew that this was like a weird sketch show, but did you know that like there's a premise for every sketch? Like apparently the premise is Tim Robinson and his guests spend each segment driving someone to the point of needing or desperately wanting to leave. And like, I know the title is what it is, but I never made the connection before.
Oh, damn! I didn't know that.
I mean, it makes sense.
The whole time I'm like, you know, all of these, he's acting so weird that probably everyone around him thinks he should leave or something. I'm like taking it literally, you know.
It might have been Lorne Michaels' last thing that he said to him.
I think you should leave.
I would believe that, actually.
That would be epic, honestly.
He probably pitched him something, and he's like, you know what, Tim, I think you should leave.
And there's only one item of IMDb trivia for this show, and it is kind of a strange one. It is, this show was written specifically by a team of marketers to be right in America's Q zone.
I like that because it's a meta joke from one of the other episodes.
That's what I figured, but I didn't remember what it was.
It's the episode or the sketch rather that starts as a like a Laser Spine Institute commercial, and then it slowly escalates to this guy's like, it starts with him being, ever since my laser spine surgery, I can pick up my son again. And it cuts to other people from that, but then it shows him going to pick up his son, and it's like a 30-year-old man. He's like, "Come here, you little fuck," and goes to pick him up. And he's like, "Dad, what the fuck?" And then from there, it shows him going to this shitty little like tiny recording studio in a mall that scams adults. And the producer is Connor O'Malley, who's in a couple of the other episodes. And he's like, "You told me that Moon River Rock was going to be a hit, and I played it for my whole family, and they said it fucking sucks." And then to keep him on the line, he's like, No, we just need to find a song that's in your Q zone. We'll fly Jeff Chris down from Indiana, we'll produce a hot track, and then you'll be good to go.
I love that.
That's the Q zone joke.
I love it.
You should watch that one though. That one's funny as fuck. I'm sure you've seen it. It's just It's one of those that like the first time I watched it, I kind of just like went through it, but then I've watched this whole series multiple times, and it's made me, that one fucking that kind of lives in my head a little bit. Also, because Jeff Fritz told me about this show. So every time I see him, he's like quoting it at me, and he quotes that particular sketch a lot. Particular the "come here, you little fuck."
I think we did the thing, Mickey. Do you think we did the thing?
Well, unless you want to talk about Mumsy, is he working on something? He's working on a new project, right?
He's
I'm
doing.
like the only person on the planet that still knows him as Mumsy, I think.
He's
Well, we
doing
still have the
something-
CD in our car, so
I believe his current project is with the bass player from Moonman, Dan Orr, and then our buddy Nick Spry, and I think he's doing like a thrash punk album now.
awesome.
So
Fun.
old Jeff, he likes to cover every single fucking genre in
I
existence.
love that though.
Yeah, he recently bought a house. Oh my god, excuse me. He recently bought a house like 5 minutes from me, and he built like there was like a carpeted room that he put like a whole fucking recording studio in. So
Good for him.
he's been doing all that shit. So I guess look out for Fritz's thrash punk project soon.
I met that dude 23 years ago.
He played the
What was he, like 12?
Yeah, he was playing drums for his brother, who was making a song for a radio show to get on stage at a big event and things like that. So,
Yep.
just real quick, this show is kind of a nugget of genius philosophy and like deep thinking, all wrapped in a hard-coded candy shell of idiocy and stupidity and just fart jokes and dick jokes and stuff. It is like, no jokes aside, it probably hits the peak Q zone for a lot of audience. On Metacritic, it is top of the charts. It's got a wide audience and well watched and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where if you're going to make the world better, you got to approach the bad people and kind of start on the edges and start eroding away and pulling them over to your side. And that encompasses who Josh Fowler is, man.
Oh.
You are friendly, you are educated, you are funny, you're friendly, and I don't think anyone could. I'm sure that you probably had hate mail in the past and stuff, but those are
all the time still.
fringe people that just don't understand who you are, which is an amazing human being. And I thank you for all the beers that you've served us, all the conversations that you've given us, and taking the time to talk about this show with us today. Thank you.
I'm very touched by that. That was the last thing I expected. Not that I don't think you're a nice person. I just didn't expect to be lauded so heavily at the end of talking about I think you should leave. But I appreciate it. It's very nice. Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I don't
And
often
check
get
it-
to be a TV critic.
Oh, it's fun.
It's my
it
favorite
is
thing.
fun.
I love talking about TV.
Hell yeah.
And Jackie has a couple closing questions.
Oh yes.
Okay.
When you're doing a binge, do you skip the
Intro.
intro or do you watch it? Any
I,
show.
I just let it play usually.
Me too.
I don't I feel like that's kind of part of the show.
Do you have a favorite theme? Intro?
I enjoy. I mean, these are the same cinematic universe, for lack of a better term, but I enjoy the intros for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I think those are both fun,
The Breaking
short,
Bad is
to the
good.
point. I like that guitar riff from Better Call
Oh,
Saul.
yeah.
That bam, boodle-doo-doo-doo, dam, bam, bam,
Like the bent guitar. No.
yeah, it's just bam, 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 boodle-doo-doo, ba-dam-dam. It's just fun, and it's kind of like I don't know. I guess it's kind of bluesy, but it feels more like desert blues, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because there's a desert in the video. That, and then my current trash TV binge has been Ink Master, because all seasons are on Paramount Plus.
My kid is
And-
obsessed with that show.
It's funny as fuck. It's so bad. And
Funny?
Dave Navarro, funny. Dave Navarro is the world's worst television host. Like,
Oh, maybe I don't know what Ink Master is.
it's
Is it a reality show?
it's a tattoo competition reality show.
Oh.
If you've never watched it, you should, because Dave Navarro's the host and one of the 3 judges, and he's so bad at it, and it's so fucking funny.
This sounds
And-
amazing.
It's like like the early seasons, because it was on Spike TV. Now
Oh, boy.
now Paramount. now Paramount, so all of it's on Paramount Plus. But the early seasons, I guess Taco Bell invested heavily in this show because he's like, he'll say like some real serious shit about like the competition or something. He's like, and remember, artists, thanks to Taco Bell and Spike TV, America has a vote on which of you advance to the final. And he says that all the fucking time, so seriously.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then if you watch the finales, which were live finales, he's so bad at reading a teleprompter and he fucks up so much. It's like the funniest shit I've ever seen.
You have just sold me on it.
Yeah, watch it. If you watch the first season, you can tell they were going for like a Big Brother-y type thing. But as they moved on and kind of fleshed it out, it changes a little bit. But it's just really funny, and most of the artists are complete dickheads and just shout at each other the whole time. So it's good trash.
I love trash. My final question is, if the listeners like listening to you talk and wanted to keep up with you, or see what's up, where can they do that on the internet?
Oh heavens! I don't really have anything on my own at the moment. I still do Sunday Morning Coming Down on Real Radio 104.1 every Sunday from 9 till now 1 p.m. We've extended an hour as of like a year or so ago. Excuse me. And then obviously you can hear that on iHeart. We can't put it out as a podcast because of the licensing for the music.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. It's kind of a pain in the ass. There's that. Every once in a while I fill in on the News Junkie when either Sabrina or C-Lane are out. And then if you wanted to pay money, you don't have to, but I'm on News Junkie secret shows once a week for like 4 years now. So
nice.
There's that. I think it's I don't know. I think it's like $3 a month or something, but
worth it.
Again, I'm not going to force you to pay money. It makes no difference to me. I get paid the same either way. So you know how that goes.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
This is always the awkwardest part. There's a lot of awkward parts on this show, but this is the most awkward.
Oh, the dismount?
Say goodbye. Yeah, the dismount.
In my experience, the dismount is the hardest part about any sort of audio-based entertainment. So yeah,
I think your former employer, boss, mentor is one of the few people that did it perfectly.
I agree. Yeah. He nailed the sign off, and every time I've tried to like sign off from anything, I feel weird doing it.
There's no better way than the way he ended it every day.
You just can't beat it.
No. So we're not gonna try.
It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over. Bones are the skeletons' money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Undergrounders have as much food as this. The worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. And it was also the night that the skeletons came to life. The bones are their money. So are the worms. They pull your hair up, but not out, to turn into a man and have another chance at life. It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over. Bones are the skeletons' money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Undergrounders have as much food as this. And the worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over. Bones are the skeletons' money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Underground there's half as much food as this. And the worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. And it was also the night that the skeletons came to life. The bones are their money. So are the worms. They pull your hair up, but not out to turn into a man and have another chance at life. It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over. Bones are the skeletons' money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Underground there's half as much food as this. And the worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground and from all over. Bones are the skeletons' money. In our world, bones equal dollars. That's why they're coming out tonight to get their bones from you. The skeletons will pull your hair up, but not out. All they want's another chance at life. They've never seen so much food as this. Underground there's half as much food as this. And the worms are their money. The bones are their dollars. And it was also the night that the skeletons came to life. The bones are their money. So are the worms. They pull your hair up, but not out to turn into a man and have another chance at life. But if they pull it out, they turn to bone.